So, like me, you've probably seen endless trailers for this movie. So, I was very excited when I finally got a chance to see Deadpool and Wolverine. Welcome to another movie review video. Welcome back, or if you're new here, welcome. My name is Katrina and I make bookish content here on this channel every week and then movie reviews, just like this one here at the weekend. All of my movie reviews are spoiler free and I will leave a playlist of my recent reviews linked up above in case you are looking for something else to watch this weekend. Although good luck because it is showing on all of the screens, isn't it? It's like you can either watch Deadpool or Despicable Me. Review for that one coming very soon. Yes, so finally got a chance to see this one. And it was really, really nice because it was one of those movie going experiences where I was in a cinema, not very full cinema actually. It was really big, but not very full, where we were just all laughing at the same time. It was brilliant. There wasn't quite the same audience reaction, I don't think, as if I'd seen it in the US, having watched the last two Deadpool movies over there. But it was still great seeing it with an audience that were laughing along at the same time as me as well, which was always a bit of an issue when I was in the US with the British humour versus the American sense of humour. I would always be laughing at different times to other people in the cinema. So yes, this one is going to be difficult to talk about everything without giving spoilers because there are so many cameos that I would like to talk about, but it it would just be spoilery. So I will just talk about the cameos in general. If you are a Marvel fan, if you are specifically an X-Men fan, if you are a fan of any of the Marvel series on Disney Plus as well, then you will be happy with the cameos in this film. The cameos in this film are just everywhere. Like, okay, here we've got a scene and we've got a cameo, and here we've got a scene and we've got another cameo, and here we've got a scene and we've got like 4, 5, 6 cameos in this scene. So in terms of other characters popping in and sticking around for a little bit of the movie, it is very, very cameo heavy. It is also very sort of Marvel universe Easter egg heavy. There are lots and lots of little bits. As you know, before his death, Stan Lee would also always appear in all of the Marvel movies. And since he died, they found really interesting ways to still let him kind of appear in some way in the Marvel movies. And I was kind of looking out for this one. So I enjoyed the way they included Stan Lee in this movie. I also enjoyed the way they included like references to the MCU and the X-Men and kind of the whole Disney Fox umbrella corporate thing going on. There's a lot of fourth wall breaks where the Deadpool character speaks to the audience about that specifically. So the part of the humor, and I think part of the reason why a British audience in particular were laughing at this, is because it does take the mick out of itself. It doesn't take itself too seriously. It's very self-deprecating. And so it's not like, oh, this is like a serious moment in the MCU. It's like, okay, like we're bringing in all these cameos, all these different aspects. We've got Deadpool, we've got Wolverine, we know that we've got these two people and we're going to smush them together, but we're not going to take it too seriously. I think that in terms of the humor, like, there has to be a nod to the writing here because the writing was just, the timing of everything was just chef's kiss, spot on. It made the whole cinema laugh, but at the same time, it was that self-deprecating humor. The fact that they were saying, "Oh no, we can't include cocaine in this movie because Disney said no. Disney said yes to everything except cocaine," and like they go down a whole rabbit hole of that. Just that's not really a spoiler. Obviously, I'm not going into the whole scene, but that's just the mention that takes place. And you were kind of like waiting for the next time, something would happen, and you were almost waiting for like Deadpool to look at the camera and be like, well, Disney, or like, well, here's another, cameo that nobody asked for. But yeah, so like that side of it was really funny. Like Deadpool and Wolverine, we knew that there was going to be chemistry between these two characters on the screen because we know that Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, we've seen their Instagram in real life. And so it was great seeing them on the screen. The only thing I would have asked for would have been like more screen time of them just together. And although I didn't see this in IMAX, and so I'm not ruling out the fact that this could be in the IMAX version of the movie. There was a couple of moments where they're just interacting with each other that were included in the trailer, but weren't included in the cut that I saw. And so, those little additions might have been nice, but then they may be holding back an extended cut to re-release later to make some more money. And even though I know it's just a publicity stunt, of course I will be going to see that as well. So like that chemistry was there. Overall, that was a great side of it. Going in, it's going to be really funny. You know that it's not going to take itself too seriously, but from the trailers that there is a lot of violence and a lot of swearing and a lot of like crude sexual humor. And yes, there was a lot of that. However, I think again, like coming back to the writing and coming back to the soundtrack as well, I feel like a lot of that like violence and the crude moments were diluted down by the sort of clever writing, and also the fact that these big fight scenes were set to choreography and set to music, as has been written into the film. And so it definitely dilutes it down and makes it funny, even though, lots of people are being maimed, lots of people are being killed. There's still some humor in this. And again, I'm not going to mention specific songs or specific choreography or a specific death. But yeah, it's very violent, but at the same time, it keeps you watching because you're kind of like singing along with the song in your head, or you're laughing at the way Deadpool is choreographing his kind of fight moves, or the way him and Wolverine are interacting with each other. And so it's definitely, if you're worried about it being too violent, like, it is, but it's not as bad as you think. It's not like endless like squelches of knives going into bodies. It's being sung along with to some sort of naughty soundtrack. And so there was that point. Yeah, I would like. There's one particular scene where there's a soundtrack, and we know some of the songs that were potentially coming up in the movie from the trailer or from them having talked about it on social media. I would like the same scene but with the alternative music, because there's a moment when they sort of bump into the radio and one song starts to play, but then they bump again and the different song plays. I would like the alternate version where we see what it would have looked like if we'd had that first song version, and that is spoiler free as I can be, but I would really like that version. Let me know in the comments if you've seen it, and if you know the scene that I'm talking about, would you also like to see it with the other song? I think they need to just release that scene. That would have been a good end credits scene. There is, of course, an end credits scene. It's funny. And there's some sort of like mid credit stuff as well, just so you know, so don't leave. I mean, if you're going to watch a Marvel film, you're probably not going to be leaving anyway. And then, yeah, lots of actor cameos as well, which I thought was interesting. Cameos wise, I haven't, I held my hands up. I haven't seen a lot of X-Men. I watched the cartoons as a child, and then I've seen a couple of X-Men bits. And so I think that I would have had a deeper understanding of some stuff, but then some of the other cameos, I have seen them in their own films or series, and so I was able to kind of comprehend a little bit of what was going on with them. But if you've seen sort of everything that's part of the MCU, then you will love all the cameos in this film. I would still like to go and see it in IMAX, and so I probably will be going to try and do that at some point again, because it is summer holidays, so why not? But yes, as always, should you pay your cinema going money to go and see this one, I think it's one of those that it is worth seeing on the big screen. I think if you're watching it at home, it's a 2-hour something film. It's a long one, and so you would lose interest, whereas I never checked my watch during this one. The sound is great. It's great seeing it on the big screen. It was nice watching it without distraction, and I probably will go and try and see it in IMAX if I can. I saw it in iSense for the good sound. So yeah, I would recommend going and paying your cinema going money to go and see this one if you are okay with quite a lot of violence and quite a lot of swearing. I think you will have a good time, and I hope you will laugh as much as I did. As always, if there is another movie you would like me to go and watch this week and bring my thoughts back to you here next week, then do let me know in comments. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. And make sure you are subscribed and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on future movie reviews and my bookish content during the week. And yes, I will see you with my next video. Thanks for watching.